How's it going, everyone? My name is True Underdog, and I'm here today with the combo guide for Nightwolf. There's already a ton of combo videos for this character out right now, but most of them are showing every possible combo instead of the ones you actually want to do, whether it be online or at a tournament. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the combos you actually want to use in a competitive setting. That way you can get consistent damage fairly easily. So without any further ado, let's start the breakdown. So first, let's begin with how to start off your combos. So first up, we have Axe Blast. This is your go-to punish. If the opponent does anything -8 or more, you can punish them because that first hit starts up in just 7 frames. So it's your go-to punish if the opponent does anything unsafe. Do all 3 hits, cancel into your Rising Tomahawk, and there you go, your combo has been started. And next up we have Ancestral Rites. This one isn't quite as useful, but it does have a low mix-up on the second hit and a bit more range. So even though it is quite slow, it does have that mix-up that might work fairly well week 1, but after people learn more about Nightwolf, I don't see it landing very often. However, I do still like this string because if they block it, you have that final hit which is safe on block at only -3. So while it isn't the best for starting off combos, you do have that option to keep yourself safe by finishing the string, which I do like. And then we have Tomahawk Smash. This is your go-to whiff punish. It's actually faster than Ancestral Rites and has more range as well. So it's very great for whiff punishing the opponent. If you're around this distance, they throw out a normal and you see it miss, you can punish with this and get your combo started. It's very, very good for that. And then we have Violent Divide. Big overhead starter, so it's pretty good for a mix-up. Is fairly slow though, so you don't want to do this move all the time, even in the neutral. Instead, it's much better after a knockdown or after a forward throw, any situation where you do have frame advantage, and this of course includes his command grab as well. And there's actually 2 ways to start off combos with this string. The easiest way is the first 2 hits and then go straight into his extension. However, you can actually special cancel the 3rd hit of the string after dialing in all 4 hits. So there you go, I pressed all 4 buttons, and then on that 3rd hit, I special canceled. This can be a bit trickier to do, but it's the most damaging way to start off combos with this string. And then we have Falcon Swap. Not a low despite how it looks, and not the best range either, but only 11 frames of startup, so fairly fast, and once again, it has a low mix-up in there, and if you finish it, you do keep yourself safe, but it's -7, so only barely safe. Still a low hit on that 3rd hit though, so kind of a mix-up. Not the best way to start off combos, which is why I saved it for last, but it's still a pretty good hit confirm and does have the option to keep yourself safe if the opponent does block it. And there's actually 3 more ways to start off combos with Nightwolf, but I saved them for last because I don't see them happening very much, especially at high level, but I do still think they're worth mentioning. So first up we have Soaring Winds. Very good range on this thing, and actually starts off combos for free, so no meter required. However, it's very unsafe on block and also pretty slow on startup. However, it can be a fantastic whiff punish, but that's the only time I ever recommend using it. So if you're around this distance, the opponent sticks out their normal, you see it whiff, boom, do this, and you have a meterless combo starter. Once again, it's very risky because it's super unsafe on block, but it can be a decent whiff punish in certain situations, but even so, use it sparingly. And next up we have Deadly Talon. So the 3rd hit is actually an overhead, and if that hit lands by itself, whether it be on block or on whiff, it will launch the opponent with a crushing blow. However, since it does launch the opponent, they could drop out of it, and since there isn't really a low mix-up for the opponent to fear, I don't see it happening very often, whether it be on whiff or because they crouch block. Nightwolf doesn't have any lows that combo right off the bat, nor at the end of his strings either, at least not this one, so the opponent has nothing to really fear and no reason to crouch block at that point, but maybe at a more casual level you could land this on block, or if the opponent's really scared and low on health, maybe you land it on whiff because they just don't expect you to fly forward like that. But once again, I don't see it happening very often, but just know that is an option. And last but not least, we have the Rhino Charge. This is by far the most risky one to go for because it's very unsafe on block and also not a mix-up as well. So you have to land the amplified part by itself, and if you do, the opponent is stunned on the ground, which is awesome because they can't actually escape your follow-up, and that's really good. The problem is the opponent has no reason to let go of block once you amplify, since it happens right away, and if you do whiff the move right in front of their face, chances are they're going to block there as well. So I don't see it landing very often, but if it does happen to land, you get a ton of damage afterwards. And best of all, the opponent can't drop out of the combo because they're still standing, which is very nice, but once again, I don't see it happening very often, and this move is also fully punishable on block, so be very careful when using it. So next up, we have the best ways to extend your combos. Now, Tomahawk Smash is the most reliable since Nightwolf does fly forward, and if he can't quite reach in some situations, you can buffer that forward dash, and the second you see him move, just hold forward and do the string, it'll land pretty much every single time. He travels very far forward, and once you land the string, it's very easy to special cancel and finish your combo, because the move does last for a decent amount of time, so you have all day to see if it lands, and then you can end with Rising Tomahawk, or if they're a bit lower, you want to do Rhino Charge for a bit more damage. So it's a very simple, very reliable way to extend combos. However, if the opponent is cornered, then Howling Wolf can be a great extender. You want to do a standing jab, then Howling Wolf, and then 1-1-1 to finish off the string. It can be a bit tricky at first, but does net you some pretty easy damage. And then we have Violent Divide, but this one is very specific. You mainly want to use this string after his Rhino Charge Crushing Blow, after his Jumping 2. Outside of this one example, this string isn't very good for extending combos, but it's very good after this specific Crushing Blow because it nets you the most damage. Once again, make sure to special cancel on that third hit after dialing in the full string. And last but not least, we have Lunar Roundhouse. Once again, a very specific ender. You typically want to use this move after spending 2 bars in the same combo, so in other words, 2 amplified Rising Tomahawks. This can be your most damaging way to end combos, even in the corner or at mid-screen, doesn't matter. It's a very damaging way to end your longer combos. Just make sure to always cancel into Rhino Charge because nothing else will actually reach. And to finish things off, I wanted to talk about the best way to end your combos. So Rising Tomahawk can be the most consistent because it has pretty good range and a very big hitbox, so it's very unlikely to drop, whereas Rhino Charge can actually miss if you do it a bit too soon. However, keep in mind Rising Tomahawk does do less damage. So if damage is what you're after and you know you won't drop the combo, Rhino Charge can be very good. Just be warned, if you do it a bit too early or if the first string is a bit too early, it goes right under like you just saw right there. So if you're not quite sure about the timing, Rising Tomahawk can be very good. Now if your combo has gone on for a long time, Rhino Charge is a lot easier to land because the opponent's going to fall a bit faster, but just keep in mind it can whiff if you don't time it properly, so even though it is more damage, it's a bit more inconsistent, especially online. And Spirit of Kiba can also be a great way to end combos as well. It won't actually hit the opponent, but it does give Nightwolf a damage buff, which means your next combo does hurt more. So sometimes it can be worth it to end your combo a bit early and then cancel into Spirit of Kiba. And for this strategy, I do recommend knocking the opponent a bit further away, that way it's not quite as easy for them to punish you. However, one trick you actually could do is leave them closer and then amplify Kiba because that actually gives you armor, so if they go for a wake up it'll get absorbed, and the same goes for any other counter attack they try. So if you do leave the opponent closer and you think they're going to attack for sure, you can go ahead and spin that bar to keep yourself a bit safer. And last but not least, we have his Tomahawk Swing. This is of course only available in certain variations, but it's a great way to end your combos, especially if you're willing to spin the bar, because you get crazy frame advantage afterwards, which means the mix-ups are coming. Whether it be an overhead, or a sweep, or a throw, anything to keep the opponent guessing. You have all day to go for it because you're at plus 70 after amplifying Tomahawk Swing. This ender is by no means the most damaging, but it's great for frame advantage and also great for repositioning. Maybe you're in the corner and you want to put the opponent in the corner, that's great because it switches sides, and then if you spin the bar you have all day to go for a mix-up. So it's not the best for damage, but it's great for setups. Alright everyone, that's about it for the combo guide. Here are the combos I was mentioning in their entirety just so you can take some notes and practice them yourself. However, if you do know of any better combos, please feel free to post them in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. And then while you're down there, go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.